friends, this is Rick, and you're seated at the table. And this is going to be my second attempt at this video. You don't remember to turn the record switch on. Anyway, I was going through some of my stuff, and I had seen, as I pointed out in a couple of these other very short videos that I've been currently posting, a comment by another collector had brought me back to some of the odds and ends that I had in my collection that are kind of rare, and as in that there were only one-offs, limited run productions or limited interest or what have you, or they were kind of the supporting material, like the battle technology and the mech force membership or club stuff. So this was one of those things that cropped up in 88 or 89. Produced by Shield Lamentations, 1988, for the FASA, copyrighted for FASA Corporation under exclusive license by Shield Lamentations. And they created one for each of the main houses. So the Kurita, Liao, Merrick, Steiner, and of course I got the Davion. And at that time, I was in my late teens and beginning into my early 20s, and I was really a diehard House Davion fan. And so of course I only purchased this one, and I kind of wish I had bought the others. But when I go that, you hear me echo that a number of times in various videos. When you live on a budget and you only have X amount of dollars, if you don't understand, if you got the money where you don't have to worry about it, good for you. But the lion's share of us, we have to make a decision what to buy and what not to buy. And there are times when these games are really in full swing that lots of material is supplemented. There's not uncommon to have weeks where 2 or 3 things can come out. There will be months where there may be 4 or 5 novels, 1 or 2 source books, a half dozen mech designs, minis will come out, and then these odds and ends. And so when they come, they tend to be limited run. To get or snag them when you can get them, because the odds are good that they're back in the day they're not going to be around anymore. Today though, things have changed considerably. We have a lot of this print on demand capability and small fabrication systems that are much easier for these small companies to produce and keep producing something, because back with computer technology and computer production CAD technology, as well as things like 3D printing and things like that, once they have a blueprint created in a digital format, as long as they got the means to replicate the item, potentially you could keep getting these things as long as there's demand, or if you're willing to pay more than what the original was worth. So anyway, there was at least 5 of these, and they were sitting up, and I snagged this one, and like a lot of items, Ivor only got 2 or 3 of each, and because he didn't know how well they would sell, how big of a demand. He knew there were some nuts. He knew he had some diehard collectors like myself who would at least buy, so he could get a few of them and guarantee that they would sell. And I bought, of course, this one, and it came in the package deal. And there's a couple items that came with it that I don't have anymore, and but it is what it is. So when we look at what it is, so the MechWarrior Personnel File provides you with Battletech military data, documents, and serves as a storage folder for all your Battletech papers. There are 5 different files, one for each of the 5 houses. Each file is printed with the appropriate house colors, contains components unique to that house. Plus, your file can be personalized by you to fit you and or your character's individual background. And here's what you get. Colorful storage folder, this thing here, an officer's commission, house recruiting poster, mech pilot certificate, letter from your house leader, MechWarrior service record, after action reports, guild stickers, the next of kin insurance form, and radiation detection badge. Well, I have a copy of it, but the radiation detection badge itself was a little plastic thing with a little clip on it, and it's long gone. It used to hang, I had a lot of these little tchotchkes, and I would hang them from a bulletin board next to my workstation for years, and then through a series of moves and some storage, your guess is as good as mine whatever happened to them. The kill stickers as well are long gone. Also, I don't have the letter from your house leader in here. I don't know where it is. And so on and so forth. So we're going to look at what we got. And most of what I have in here actually Xerox copies of the original. Just a couple of the original pieces are still here, but the lion's share of the stuff. Well, maybe I do have the. Never mind. I say things and then I'm proved wrong by immediately opening the book, right? So here is your letter from Hans Davion, MechWarrior, my personal greetings. All right. Blah, blah. And that's the original right there in color. So this would have been your MechWarrior service record and all your personal stats, service data, etc., etc. It's not to be confused with a role-playing game's character sheet, because that's not what this is. This is as if your character was a real person, and this is their military folder, and so on and so forth. So, and then there would be this certificate, and I had the original. I actually had it framed, and it was in a glass frame, and the glass got broke out of the frame, and the frame was starting to fall apart. This is out there in some of the stacks in my stuff on my shelving units by my little desk out in the living room, and I don't know exactly where it is, but this is the copy of it that came with it. And of course, and I always made a number of copies because I'd always assumed I would either have other other characters that want to do this for, or I would want to give some to my friends. And anyway, so this was your first skill. Your first kill, blah blah blah, name, rank, blah blah, detection, blah blah, house, mech, whatever. And then your next of kin insurance form, just because it's always fun to have that sort of thing, because you could die. You get in that big stompy robot that's powered by a fusion reactor, things might not end up well. So here's the original next of kin insurance form, right? And we have our license to be a MechWarrior pilot, because and there's your first kill original. And because you not let it be known that successfully completed the requirements satisfaction manner, we present the certificate of competency. Because if you can't pilot, you don't have this, you can't pilot your mech. That's just what it is. So here's a copy of the radiation. This is what the radiation detection badge would look like, and then you would take basically this and fill this information out, and it inserts into this thing where that spot goes right there, right? That was the idea behind it. So, and obviously if you're working, you're piloting a big stompy robot powered by a damn fusion reactor, having a radiation badge actually makes perfectly good sense. I mean, it's not something you see in the lore or the novels or the stories or nothing, but you would think that they would have them, and if they didn't, the damn technicians working on them would, because, a fusion reactor is still a fusion reactor. Nukes is nukes, dude. And I'm just saying, right? So, and then this would be the after-action report. Personal data for your MechWarrior, battle data, what planet where it was fought, what it was fought, how long it was fought, who it was fought against, the final outcome, friendly units names, type of units, damage they took, units that you damaged and destroyed. So I've just made copies because I figured, I'm going to want copies of those things. As a rule, I've learned the hard way when I was very young. Whenever you get something that don't ever use the original. Better to Xerox copies off. I call it Xerox because back then we didn't have computers, printers, and things like this at home. That if you were very lucky if you had one, and I was not one of those, so I couldn't just print things. You didn't have a scanner. That didn't come out until the late 80s, and they were hideously expensive. I didn't get my first scanner until almost the late 90s, just pointing the obvious out. And so you would go to the local grocery store or some kind of convenience stores and other places. They'd have a Xerox machine there. And for a dime, or nowadays a quarter, you just make a copy. And that's what I did. So I paid to make copies of everything. So obviously that's the cover, picture of the cover. Because, if I was going to make some more for my buddies, I want them to have that information too. So, and have it all complete. And then it came an ad for Battletech dog tags, and I think you can get these now. I've seen these on the internet somewhere. I think somebody's producing a more modern version of them. But the fact is that if you thought, well, these are special and unique, well, these were around back in the 80s too, and it only cost you $4.95. Okay, that's a pretty damn good deal. I never got one. I always kind of wanted to, but I never got one. And then we have a special offer that you can join the Mech Force. And I already did a little video on that, on the Mech Force. And so that I filled out one of these and became a member, etc., etc. Like I said, I did a video on it. So anyway, there you have a nice little trip down memory lane for those old hats like myself, and something new for y'all that have never seen before these sort of things for Battletech. And until next time, this is Rick, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And thankfully, it still says record.